Hello and welcome to the official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Mohammedan Sporting Club. Today we are all set for another very fine episode, and this is for an announcement as well. We all know, like Smart Strength, the new fitness partner of Mohammedan Sporting, another very productive as well as positive change in the club, the historic club, the oldest I-League club in the country at the moment, Mohammedan Sporting. We have Sachin Rana. We all know him, quite a famous cricketer, and especially for the cricket fans in Kolkata, you must be knowing him pretty well because he played for Kolkata Knight Riders as well. He played for, you know, Pune Warriors. He played for Sunrisers Hyderabad, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and now a full-fledged professional physical trainer. And more importantly, his fitness drills are helping a lot of Indian cricketers as well, like Shikhar Dhawan and all. We will definitely talk about that, how he's going to help Mohammedan Sporting Club in the forthcoming season. But at the same time, we need to introduce you with our very own Dr. Taha Ahmed, the Assistant General Secretary of Mohammedan Sporting Club. Both of you, welcome to the official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Mohammedan Sporting.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for
having
having
us.
me on the show.
Okay, so already, I mean, the fans have started doing their chirpings and all. Of course, when it comes in terms of Mohammedan Sporting, we all know the expectations should be high, and more importantly, Sachin, and we all know like cricket has its own fan base, but when it comes in terms of football in Kolkata, it's a different league altogether. Here, the most popular sport has been football and will always remain the same as well. My sincere question to you is like, okay, Atul Babu has said my love from Kerala Blasters. I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, this is how Mohammedan Sporting has made their fan base over the years. The most popular football club, arguably in India. How excited are you to join with this historic club, Sachin?
Well, it is a matter of honor and pride for us here at Smart Strength, being associated with the oldest football club in the country. And as everyone knows, all the fans who support Mohammedan Sporting, and I'm sure every football fan in the country knows the kind of legacy and heritage that Mohammedan Sporting Club has. So we are thrilled and really excited and really honored to be a part of this club, and we wish to help take the legacy forward and achieve great things going ahead in the future.
Well, we'll be coming back to Taha. I mean, Taha, you has been very positive and active this time around, like every season. But I mean, you are very busy in terms of the team build-up process as well. You have been in the thick of things. We all know that. But at the same time, my question is like we all know, like Kolkata clubs, they have struggled over the years in terms of the fitness aspects. This time around, bringing them on the board. Of course, Bankaril also played one of the most instrumental parts over here. But I mean, of course, I mean, you are also involved in this, very much involved in this process of bringing them on board. Uh, what was the basic reason behind it? We all know, like, the fitness issue has made modern sporting struggle over the years. Is
Yeah.
this the only reason, or do you have anything in your mind as well while going forward?
So, how this whole association with Smart Strength started was few months back. Deepak Bhai, we met for a meeting, and he said, "Let's do something differently this time." Because he noticed last year what happened. The team was struggling with injuries, and since because of the pandemic situation, we were in a bubble, and the games were coming thick and fast, right? So the recovery time was shortened, and then we were getting a lot of injuries, right? Even though we had a good set of support staff handling the conditioning and the physiotherapist and the entire team, but what he said, let's get a professional company which will cater to all these small aspects. It's not just, so when we're associating with Smart Strength, it's not just that they provide a physiotherapist or just some conditioning. They are with us throughout the season, from pre-season till the last day of the season. They're getting their entire team. I'm sure Sachin ji will elaborate on that, so I'm not going into that aspect. But right from the pre-season, in fact, I think this is not done too many times in Indian football. But before our players get to kick a football as Mohammedan Sporting players, they are going to undergo a 3 or 4 day medical test, right? To see if there are any if they're carrying any injuries, if it's any major injury, if there's any small knock that the that the team from Smart Strength can work on and fix it before the season starts. So that's what the concept was, that let's try to decrease the number of injuries this year. Obviously, Deepak Bhai told us that let's keep the target as zero injuries, which is probably not possible. But the whole concept is let's just fingers crossed. But the plan is to minimize the number of injuries. So the balance of the team is not disrupted, and we have a good core that is playing together the entire season. So that's the whole the plan with Smart Strength.
Brilliant. But we're coming back to Sachin. Sachin, I mean, you have trained some amazing athletes over the years. You have been doing a splendid job. What is Smart Strength is all about? I mean, it's just what Taha mentioned. It's not just about making players fit. It's much more. So can you please elaborate?
You see, all throughout our playing days, when we started initially, when I started early in the late 2000, oh sorry, late 90s, fitness was all about just taking laps of the field. So things started changing. NCA was formed, and the fitness culture in the Indian cricket circuit changed. And we've seen after a couple of generation of cricketers how fit and athletic the Indian team is right now, and that is one of the primary reasons that they're dominating in the world cricket. We've always had skilled players. We've always had legends who've been excellent in their craft, be it bowler, spinner, fast bowler. But now we look at the consistency of the fielding and the athleticism of our players. It's all because of the fitness standards. We're producing fast bowlers at such a wonderful rate. Guys who are clocking well above 140 kilometers an hour, which we used to just dream of in the mid 90s, early 2000s, maybe. Right now, I think every Ranji Trophy team has at least a couple of guys who bowl in excess of 140 kilometers an hour. So that in itself is a testimony to the kind of fitness standards that the Indian cricketers have achieved, and that's why we are dominating world cricket. So this was one thing that was lacking in the cricket circuit in our basically in cricket, and they have caught up with the rest of the countries now, and that is, I would say, one of the primary reasons that we are dominating in that sport. So and as I said initially while playing, we used to. I mean, we didn't have any structured training plans as such, because training was like, I mean, we didn't have access to YouTube, Google. We used to. I mean, I used to just buy fitness magazines or maybe whatever we can, uh, whatever information we can gather of any trainer or any, I mean, article. We used to just try and implement that. I mean, I used to implement that to my own regime. But in later on in my career, I realized that just doing any random thing doesn't help. It only increases the chance of you getting injured sometimes rather than helping you. So a structured plan needs to be in place. And in not only in the conditioning and strength and conditioning part, but it has to be like a holistic approach. You need a good team of physio who can diagnose or maybe screen you for a injury or something that you're missing. I mean, something that you are going to, I mean, on the verge of picking up, you're lacking in some aspect. And nutrition, another important aspect of your training and recovery process. Nutrition is something that people lack. So I wanted to create something that covers all the bases and caters to the athlete and provides them with the like a holistic plan, like covering all the bases and providing them with the best uh, training, nutrition, and physiotherapy guidelines. So that's how Smart Strength came into being. I've been working hard to create a team and network of good fitness and healthcare providers, which we are like, I would say, slowly and steadily, we are moving in the right direction. And this will be our first major project. And we're really hopeful and confident that we'll do a good job and help Mohammedan Sporting have a wonderful season.
Brilliant. I mean, my next question would be from Akhtar Hussain. He has just popped up a question like, Taha bhai, is there any foresight behind this enterprise?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the target is to decrease the number of injuries so there's less disruption in the squad. And we're also discussing that whatever team we make sure Mohun Sporting during the tournament runs the most every game. So we want the fittest players in our team. So that is what we're aiming for. that we run for 90 minutes from first minute till 90 minutes. The team keeps running, and we want, especially coming from last season, we want our players to be at a peak fitness level, right? So that's where association with Smart Strength would come in handy.
Brilliant. I mean, my next question would be to Sachin. As Sachin, you have worked with some outstanding cricketers, as we all know. If I ask you, I mean, what is the basic difference of the training regime, the training style for the cricketers, and of course for the footballers? Because I think this will be the first time you'll be working with a football team, and that too of a team like Mohammedan Sporting. So, do you have any special plans which you have chalked out?
You see, obviously, the different sports, cricket, football, different requirements. And I mean, if we go into too much technical details, obviously, a lot of people will get confused. But yeah, the energy specific demands are different because obviously, football is like it's all constant, very high intensity running, running, running all the time, and a lot of changes of direction, acceleration, dodging the opponent, and combine that with skill that you have to execute for about even for 100 110 minutes of the game. So obviously the demands are very different. I would say football more physically demanding sport than cricket, and I mean other technical things, as I said, I mean it'll be a bit out of context and too technical to discuss on this platform. But yeah, I mean the plans would be a little different and more specific than something that we do with cricketers. But yeah, one thing would be like develop good lower body strength for them, and good acceleration speed so that they can outrun the opponents, if you can put it that way.
So the Black Panthers and their fitness is on safe hands. I mean,
Exactly.
more
So make the
importantly,
Black Panthers run like Panthers.
absolutely. My next question would be to Taha. Taha, as we all know, Mohammedan Sporting is building a very formidable team this time around. It's not just about big names, but important, significant additions to the team, like quality youngsters who are coming in. Specialization has been given on Northeast players. We all know, like in terms of the fitness level, the Northeast players are very good compared to the other parts of the country. With every due respect to the others. Do you think like it was a processed plan, or that we'd be going for the Northeast players more this time around because of their fitness? Because that has always been a problem for the Kolkata clubs over the years. On the flip side of it, we haven't seen too many Northeast players to be successful over there in Kolkata Maidan as well. There have been examples. I mean, in Mohammedan Sporting as well. I mean, Changte has been a prime example that he has been a very successful player. But on the flip side of it, if you see the number of the Northeast players who have come in to play for Kolkata clubs over the years, there are at least 10 to 20 you can name. The rest they haven't been that big a name compared to the other parts of the country. I mean, what was the plan?
So the plan was to get a bunch of talented, hungry youngsters, irrespective of whichever part of the country they come from. So we weren't specifically targeting Kerala or Bengal or Northeast. We wanted to get talented youngsters, people who wanted to be part of the project. Before every signing, it's not that we spoke to the agent and we signed the player. We've had a chat with each of the players individually. I myself, our general secretary Danish Bhai, Deepak Bhai, we've spoken to the players. We've explained the project to them. When we're sure that they are 100% on board, then we've signed these guys. So it wasn't a conscious effort that let's target a specific part of the country. We've looked at talented players throughout the country. In fact, there are a lot of more signings that will be announced in the next few days. It's a process, so it takes time. So I would request the fans to be patient with the signings. I know they're all very excited, but we're getting some good guys. So it'll be a good mixture of young, talented guys and experienced active players. Few of them currently in ISL who we are targeting. So in the next few days, we'll be able to make a few announcements. So yeah. So and the other thing that we've consciously done at Mohammedan Sporting this year, which we have not done before, is all the players under the age of maybe 24, 25, everyone, they're all on multi-year deals. This was one thing that our Coach Andre, insisted on. He said, if you guys are giving me responsibility for a multi-year project, so if you're having faith in me, let's have faith in these youngsters too. right? It's not, the problem is in Indian football we see the lot of chopping and changing happening every year, right? I mean, teams end up buying 20 new players every year, and next year they release everyone, they sign 20 new players the next season again. So we don't want to do that. So the team we're making this year, I would say maybe 70% of the players would be playing next year as well. So we're having faith in the coach, the project that we've handed him, and we're having faith in these bunch of youngsters that we are signing. We want to groom them, and using our especially with the fitness aspect from Smart Strength, and the technical expertise from coach. We're going to announce an assistant coach very soon. So using these guys, you want to develop these guys, nurture these guys. Not saying that these guys are raw and they're not ready for the big stage, because we have complete confidence in these youngsters that they're ready to take I League by storm this year. And that's our target. Let's have a bit of continuity in the team, which is not seen too often in Indian football. But we're having patience with we're being patient with these guys, and they're all a bunch of talented youngsters. They're raring to go, and we can't wait to get the season started.
Well, not just
And
because
I
I'm
would just
a
like
very
to,
good.
sorry, I would just like to add on to that. It is a very important thing for a team sport, having a continuity of the squad. If you have too many changes happening every year, then that the player also doesn't have that much confidence in the management, and he is also, I mean, he doesn't get a sense of that belonging to that place. He knows that he's there for maybe 5 6 months. He just has to play. He might get a game or two, and then he'll be just thrown away. So it's good to give them some form of confidence, and tell them, okay, like give them a pat on the back. Okay, we've got your back, and you're here with us for at least 3 years, 2 years, whatever the contract is, and we're gonna persist with you. And then that sense of loyalty, and that uh, willingness to, like, when when you say that people, they just play their heart out on the field, these things happen only when you have that sense of belonging to one place. And that is, I think, a very good step that's taken.
Absolutely, and I'll be coming back to you, Sachin. But before that, I mean, I have a question for Taha actually. I mean, having a director of an investing company like Deepak, it makes things easy with the way he understands the game, isn't it? I mean, with the way he has been supporting Mohammedan sporting around to make it massive and take it to the next level. Actually, that has been absolutely conducive. We have heard like in teams like I mean, the other parts of the Kolkata where I mean, there have been, I mean, in one of two clubs, actually, there have been always a problem in terms of the club and the investors. But here, such has been the bonding and such a beautiful human being, Deepak is. It always helps actually to have an investor like him who always tries to help, contribute to the cause rather than making all those stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Deepak Bhai coming in, I mean, more than an investor, he's been so closely associated with us. We're almost like one big family now. And
Yes.
so even our whole decision making process, it's never unilateral, as in we find that a decision has been made by Bunker Hill or Moment Sporting, and the other party then finds out later. Everything happens together. In fact, we have a committee consisting of Deepak, as well as a core committee from Moment Sporting, and we take all the decisions together. We have regular meetings. We have WhatsApp groups when we have, I think, 300 messages exchanged on that group every day. Right. So it's the whole process, we're going along hand in hand, and it's going well so far. And I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, and there are many more things to come, many more surprises for our fans. But yeah, we're just getting started.
Brilliant. My next question would be to Sachin. I mean, Sachin, you know Deepak for a long time as well. I know that pretty well. I mean, what makes him a different person altogether in terms of making new things, bringing new fresh changes over here in a particular club? I mean, you know him for a long time. That is the reason why I'm saying, because Bunker is also playing a very important part. The officials, Taha Bhai, Danish Bhai, and everyone, Bilal Bhai, they have been absolutely brilliant so far. On the flip side of it, if you see with the way Bunker is also trying to contribute to Mohammedan sporting, it's making a very strong unit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Deepak Bhai, I've known him for almost a year now, and as Taha said, I mean, a wonderful, wonderful human being. And once he goes into something, he goes all in. Like the project that we have here in Gurgaon, Sports Cube, and the Smart Strength facility that we built here. I mean, no expenses spared. Any idea you can, I mean, go go up to him, talk to him about whatever ideas you have. He's very open to new ideas and things that you want to try and maybe execute, and always there to help. And I mean, is the most important thing is available and there to help basically, because sometimes the owners and the investors, they're just like, the money is there but the person is not there. So the most important thing about Deepak Bhai is that he's right there. He's there to guide you. He's there to stand by you and help in taking decisions along with you. So that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. That and it gives you a lot of confidence when he's standing right by your side.
It's not just because Taha is a very close friend of mine. I mean, he has a very good football. He's a brilliant football brain he has. I mean, those who know Taha, they know it pretty well. That I think he's a very busy doctor. We all know it. But out of 24 hours, I mean, 12, 13, 14 hours inside in inside eye actually as well. He has been thinking about football. Taha, I mean, I mean, I know like you are the busiest doctors in the city at the moment. How do you manage in such a very difficult job, handling all things around about the club's perspective, talking to players and all, on the flip side of it, doing surgeries and all? How do you manage?
No, I think everyone. I think everyone is not just me, but everyone from Mohun Sporting. We all have, like a separate profession, and everyone's very busy. But we've made a conscious effort this year that let's all be available for the club. So we've all at least put aside a few hours, right? And obviously we coordinate over the phone through Zoom meetings, whatever. But especially, I think General Secretary Danish Bhai, he's made it a point that every evening we at least a bunch of us, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, we at least meet almost every day. We maybe 6 days a week we meet, probably 7 days a week. We have a chat about chalo, what's going on, what progress we made this week. So he's made a conscious effort of doing this, and he's very available. So I think that's been a very like a refreshing change. And not just Danish Bhai or the other people who are coming now, even our seniors, right? So it's there. I think it was a foundation laid by them, that has made us do the work that we are doing right now. So, and we've had their wholehearted support throughout. So I think we're very grateful to everyone who's been a part of Mohun Sporting for the past, decade or so, if not more.
Yeah, we know. I mean, for the last 1.5 years since the pandemic started, the world has gone to a different low, and also India as well. Especially in football, we have seen the All India Football Federation has been doing a magnificent job, hosting tournaments like I League and ISL when even tournaments like IPL couldn't complete on time as well. So they completed that successfully. IFA has done a magnificent job as well. For the club's perspective, Mohammedan Sporting's journey has also been a success story. Like we know, Mohammedan Sporting was not there where they deserve to be for the last few years. They crawled back into the I League stature, and then they have been doing pretty well. I mean, finishing in the top 5 clubs in the last season. Straight away, competed over there in the championship stage as well. This time around, making a very stable unit, signing top players like Marcus Joseph. My next question would be to Sachin Rana. We all know, like Marcus Joseph, he's a magnificent player. He's one of the prize assets which we have seen in Indian football of late. But his fitness of late, we have heard and we have seen over the years, had been an issue at times. So do you have any special plans? Because we all know, like the Caribbean players, at times they are a bit injury prone. They're not as workaholic in terms of fitness levels, rather than focusing more on their talents. So you have played against the Caribbean players. You must be knowing their psychology pretty well. So how do you plan with different players? You'd be having players from Northeast. You'd be having players from Eastern Europe. You'd be having players from Syria. You'd be having players from Caribbean islands. So you must be having some different mindsets and different plans for them. So could you please elaborate on this?
Yes, as you rightly said, I've played with and worked with athletes from the Caribbean, and they obviously don't enjoy the training part that much. As contrary to popular belief, they're like, obviously they're genetically gifted athletes, but you won't find them too much in the gym, sweating it out. Like the other guys from any other part of the world. But yeah, I mean, they're supremely gifted physically. You have to push them a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, working with the team, it's more about man management rather than like setting one set set uh, set of rules. You need to be a little flexible because they're like 30, 35 individuals. Everyone has their own style, their own character. So you need to go by that, and at the same time, you need to make sure that you do all the things that is necessary. At least it's about just ticking the boxes. So just keep doing whatever is required. Keep doing the right things. Apart from
Absolutely.
that, you can't push someone too much. You have to like push them out of their comfort zone to do the things that are required and necessary, but at the same time, not at the cost of putting them off. So, see, when I was a player, it was a different story. But now, uh, being a trainer, so you have to be a little careful as to how you go about it. So, all the support staff have to be on one page. And in this case, I think the coach will play a very important role as to how he manages all these youngsters. And we as a support team to the coach will also work in tandem with the same set of ideas as to like how do we uh, take take these guys on board with our ideology of training and fitness. So I think the first few days we'll get to know everyone, we'll try and understand everyone, and then take things from there. And
Yeah, I have a
as you
question.
said regarding injuries and all, we'll do the screening things, assessments, and then we'll obviously make plans for each and every individual.
Yeah, I have a question to you, Sachin. I mean, you have been a top player, cricketer. I mean, a fantastic all rounder over the years. Despite the fact that I mean you haven't announced your official retirement as yet, but you have been full fledgedly on fitness training at the moment. But I mean, I'm talking about the psychology. If you are an athlete, and if you are coming to help a particular sports club, or you are coming to one of the traits of the sports, most important traits of the sports, because we all know like fitness is the most intriguing and the most important part these days in modern day sports. My question to you, how much help it makes actually when you just deal with a particular athlete, let it be a different sport, from a perspective of an athlete,
Help as in him playing during the game or generally what?
generally in terms of the fitness levels, because you might be knowing like what sort of a problem the player is having at the moment.
See, I mean, if you talk about the mindset, obviously, the fitter the person is, the more confident he'll feel going into the onto the court or the field. And one thing that separates fit sides from any other side is a fitter side will be able to execute the skills better, especially when towards the later stages of the game, when you really need to push and when you're really fighting out towards the end of the game. That's where the fitness comes into play. When you have to hustle for the ball, when you have to outrun the opponent, when you need to make that extra push towards the end, last 5 minutes, last 2 minutes. So that's where these things come into play. The fresher and the stronger your players are towards the end of the game, in the first half, both the teams might be equal, but things start to heat up and change towards the later half of the game. Any sport, when the athlete starts getting tired, and obviously, if you know, if our team knows that we are the fittest team on this field today, then obviously the confidence is so much higher. We know that even if we're lagging behind, we can still chase them down and we can turn this game around. See, but not to uh, I mean, see, skill will always be priority in a skill game. Skill will always be a priority, but fitness, as I said, will help you execute those skills better for a longer period of time. So that's what we'll be aiming for, to make and keep our team as fit and as fresh as much as we can,
To
so
light
that they hit the ground running every game.
the discussion a little bit, my question to Taha, what made you more happy actually? Jadon Sancho to Manchester United or Marcus Joseph to Mohammedan Sporting?
Jadon Sancho to Manchester United didn't make me happy. I was just relieved. It's over. For 1 year, for 1 year, I've been refreshing my Google search, checking if the deal was done or not. I was just relieved. It wasn't happiness. I was finally it's over. Now I'm doing the same thing about Rafael Varane now.
Yeah, it would be happening, or Pau Torres, whoever.
Oh,
But the next question, of course, to Taha. Taha, we all know, like, I mean, all the modern sporting officials, they are very, very passionate. They know the pulse of Kolkata football pretty well. Um, I mean, modern sporting is slowly and steadily becoming very, very corporate. Like it's the need of the time as well. You have been becoming very, very professional. At the same time, you're valuing, uh, the pulse of the fans, their expectations, and all, making a very, very good squad. Uh, how challenging it is, especially in a pandemic time, when the rub of the green is not at all in your favor. Difficult times for the players as well. Mm. But at the same time, keeping them mentally fit. We all know the officials play a very, very important role in managing the players. It's not just about the coach's job actually. It's also the officials. And that is how the Kolkata football has been doing over the years, and that's the reason why Kolkata clubs are different from the other clubs in the country.
yeah. So we made a conscious effort. We speak to all our players regularly, try to make them as comfortable as possible, the stay, everything, right? Especially in the bubble situation, we the officials were in regular touch with the players, with the support staff, obviously, to see if there were any concerns, if any issues, if we could rectify anything from outside the bubble. I think this year, Smart Strength is getting a mental conditioning coach, if I've got the term right. You're
Yep.
right, because that's important. So Smart Strength is bringing that to the table this time as well, which we didn't have last year, which I think very few clubs have in India, right? I mean, at the I League level, right? So it's not just about the physical aspect; it's also about mental conditioning and what sort of frame of mind the players are in. Because obviously, if they're disturbed or if there are any issues, the back of the mind, they won't be able to give their best on the field. So we've kept that in mind, and we're starting with mental conditioning, and maybe I think Sachin ji was. Talking about getting yoga classes for the players, stuff like that. So there are a lot of new things. It's a new approach. So that's how we are working on it during this pandemic season. And like you said, the entire the our official group, everyone's been very supportive. And at the same time, we realize, even when Bunkel came on board, we realized that we are a legacy club, and that is our strength, and we don't want to let that go, right? And our association with Bunkel, I think, is a perfect amalgamation, because they recognize the fact that we're a legacy club is our biggest strength, right? So we want to, even when you're talking about corporatization, moving forward in the corporate, we want to make sure we do not lose touch with our roots, right? So we're taking going both keeping both hand in hand, and that's how we are trudging along, and making these small subtle changes, trying to change the way we operate, and the way we recruit, and the way how we approach a season. Everything's different, but then at the end of the day, we recognize the fact that where Moment Sporting has come from, supporters, everyone's important. And yeah, so that's how we're going to work from here on in.
Yeah, yeah, taking from the essence of your words as well as Sachin's words, uh, I mean, you are giving a lot of emphasis on the holistic well-being. Just a few minutes back, Sachin also mentioned that. So in a way, Mohammedan Sporting promises to be smart, and their strength aspect will also be absolutely bang on going forward in this particular season. Just before wrapping up this particular show, Sachin, your words for the fans across the globe, the Mohammedan sporting fans across the globe, the most incredible football fans across the globe, the Mohammedan sporting fans. Any special word you want to give and to them, and more importantly, any special assistance or a kind of a solace you want to provide to all the Mohammedan sporting clubs fans actually.
You see, I mean, as I said, we're really humbled and honored to be a part of this club. And I would just urge the fan to keep supporting us. And we would try to do our best and give the best possible services to the players and the team.
Absolutely. Taha, I'm sure, like me, I mean, like Sachin, you also enjoyed this conversation. It's always pleasure to talk to you about football, Taha. Let it be over the phone calls or in front of each other. It's always pleasure to talk football with you. And same with Sachin as well. We had a few discussions before as well. It's always a fantastic experience while talking sports with Sachin Rana. Another exciting season ahead. The build-up has been absolutely brilliant. Just what the doctor ordered for the fans across the globe for Mohammedan Sporting. A cracker of a season ahead. Mohammedan Sporting would be coming in all guns blazing in the forthcoming Calcutta Football League as well. Today, the fixture committee had a meeting and it's been decided like who and where they'll be playing in this Calcutta Football League season. So for now, it's time's up for us. We had a good discussion as we mentioned. I hope all the fans have thoroughly enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another cracking show in the next few days as well. We promise to bring you a lot more shows like this in the coming days as well to keep you updated. Mohammedan Sporting Club always want to keep everything updated to all the fans, keeping the legacy and more importantly, the passion you all have for this wonderful heritage club of the country. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.